The Elgato Stream Deck is the newest piece of hardware coming out of Elgato. Elgato, more famous and well known for their capture cards. The Stream Deck is a amateur targeted, control board for live streamers. So you get all kinds of push button actions available right here from the tip of your fingers. So there's not much to the Stream Deck as far as this goes. We got two basic parts. You've got the stand, plastic stand that the Stream Deck sits on, and you've got the Stream Deck itself. So the Stream Deck itself weighs about 6 ounces, USB controllable, configurable device, 15 push buttons, each of which has an LCD screen underneath it, connects via USB to your device, and of course the stand that it sits on. So this is designed to sit on your desk while you're streaming, pops out and has multiple angles so you can set it up however you want. Sits right there and is going to provide you a great push button experience for configuring things. So the Stream Deck is different than just getting a macro keyboard because you've got super easy to configure and use push buttons for all of your streaming actions. They've got integrated support with OBS for easy drag and drop, as well as support for other services from Twitter to Twitch and everything else like that. They've also got actions for running applications or opening website URLs. So if you've got a website that can do an action for you, you can hit that up as well. So you can imagine using if this then that or other things like that. This Elgato was given to me as part of developing for it, so I'm currently working on support in Livestream Alerts for some Stream Deck actions. Yeah, so this is the device. I'm looking forward to testing it out and trying it out. I think Elgato has really kind of hit the niche here pretty well because they're creating something which is very easy to configure, drag and drop and very, very user friendly, and is, a good price point for something like this. So each of these can be configured, as you can see here, with different, icons and everything else like that. It's going to make it really easy to use so that you can just at a glance tell what you're doing and everything else like that. In addition to the 15 buttons you've got from the Elgato Stream Deck, you can also configure any of these to be a folder of additional actions. So this gives you up to 225 actions on this device that you can get access to. An absolutely killer control board for anyone doing amateur live streaming. So when we first plug in the Elgato Stream Deck, it gives you this very crisp, clean Elgato logo sitting on your display. And then once you download the Stream Deck software and install it, you get a set of icons. So you can see here that by default, it comes with a set of icons for turning the mic on and off, for opening a welcome page, etc., etc. So each of these icons has a different configurable action. You can add folders, you can add everything else like that to be able to easily configure everything that you want to control about your live stream. By default, of course, the Stream Deck software uses setup targeted at game capture. Game capture is Elgato's streaming software. So a lot of these buttons here are based around game capture. And of course at the bottom we've got these buttons that are purple, although you can't see it on the camera down here, which are for Twitch actions. Since I am not a Twitch user and I'm not a game capture user, we're going to have to pretty much start from scratch. So we're just going to delete pretty much all of this. Delete. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll just start out by clearing out this first row. Actually, we'll clear out a bunch of this. So this is tweeting, stream, record. So these are buttons that we can replicate within OBS. Take a screenshot. And we don't like these purple icons. That's not really our jam as YouTube users. So we'll get rid of those as well. This is a folder for volume and multimedia controls. So you can see here I can either double click in the UI on the browser or on the desktop, or I can of course hit these buttons, and you can see here the use of the touch buttons for folders. So this is an example of a folder. We don't need the welcome to Stream Deck button. We will go ahead and set up a tweet test. All right, so we will go ahead and add an account from Twitter. There we go. So we will log in. All right, so now I've got the CR Schmidt account. I can drop out here and I can say, this is a test tweet from the Elgato Stream Deck. Now, theoretically, every 12 hours when I hit this button, I am going to tweet something. So we'll go ahead and pull up my Twitter profile over here and open that on up. And so, Here we go. We're going to hit the button. Boop. And it did do a little, there we go. This is a test tweet from the Elgato Stream Deck. We can see it there. So we do know that our tweeting button actually works. It gives us the little green icon when the tweet has been sent out. Great. The other thing, of course, that we want to do is be able to configure OBS. OBS has buttons for enabling and disabling scenes, so we can drop this here, and in my scene collection, which is called 4x3, I can enable all these different kinds of scenes. 4x3. So this button should now, 4x3, and that shows up in the little icon there, so I can see that it's clearly labeled. You can't see it super clearly in the icon here, but when I hit this button, now, my scene changes to a scene that you might recognize if you've ever seen me stream, and I can add another button. Well, here we go. We go back here, and we will add another scene button, and this time it's going to be scene 2, which is the one I'm currently using for this recording, so we'll just call this 2 for now. And so now I can hit the button, boop, and I can swap back by just pushing another button. If we're already on the scene, obviously it doesn't change. So that's great. So we've got a tweet sent out, we've got sources sent out. Another thing, of course, is that if you're looking at this and you're like me, you see these Twitch chat messages and other things like that. Now, I'm not a Twitch user, but I am a YouTube user, and so I, as a YouTube user, would like to be able to send YouTube messages. So I actually can do that using Livestream Alerts. So Livestream Alerts, I'm developing a new option called Actions. Actions will allow you to do things, and so one of the things, I've got 2 actions that have been built so far. One is to have a YouTube chat message sent, and the other one is to repeat your last alert. So you can actually see I've got these here. I come to the actions page and I can copy this link, come over into the Elgato software, and I can add a website. So I take this website, and this is alert. I'm going to put this here, and this new option here called Access in Background. Access in Background is going to give you the ability to open this URL and not ever see anything that happened from it, so you don't have to have your browser pop out or anything else like that. So if you're like me and you want to just hit this button as you're streaming, you do this, and as I push this button, we should see an alert pop up from Livestream Alerts. And Livestream Alerts will generate a new alert. There we go. My last subscriber, Zoltan Halasi, gets his alert shown again. So that's pretty cool. The other thing, as I said, is you can send a YouTube chat message. So I can send a chat message, in this case of "This was a triumph." We'll call this Triumph. Again, open in background. We can go ahead and pull up my live chat, and so any scheduled or upcoming live stream or active live stream is going to receive this message. So if you've got multiple streams going on, it's going to go to all of them. So we just tap this button here, boom, and there you go. So with the Livestream Alert support, we can build actions like repeating an alert or sending chat messages to YouTube. You've got easy control over sources and scenes in OBS. You've got actions to open websites or control different things, and Stream Deck and Elgato is going to just keep adding more options here. So this access and background option is a one that they added after I sent an email to them shortly after the Stream Deck launched. Super excited with how quick they were able to turn that around, and I'm looking forward to more awesome things from them. So thanks very much to Elgato for sending me the Stream Deck, and thanks very much to all the people who put this together. It seems like a great product. I'm really looking forward to using it, and making some of my transitions a little bit smoother, a little bit nicer using this great Stream Deck. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.